Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to offer Dana, then please do go to justthiszen.org/giving. Your support really does make a huge difference. Thank you so much.
Welcome everyone. It's lovely to see you all, and it's a particular pleasure to welcome Josh to give us one of his illuminating talks. Um, at the moment, the title is really on the money for me, so personally, I'm looking forward to it very much. Thank you, Josh.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for inviting me to be with you today. It's always a great pleasure to be with Nothing Special. I was wondering what to talk about today, and I really couldn't think of anything. And then a voice said, just talk about what you love right now. And that made it very easy, actually. Made it very simple and very lovely to prepare a talk for you. So a couple of days ago, Trudy bought a beautiful bunch of dahlias, and here's one of the dahlias, this beautiful kind of starburst dahlia, which I've just taken out of the display, and it's just starting to fade. Just down here, you can just begin to see it moving into a different place in its life. But I love it, and it feels very beautiful to share it with you this morning. When I used to be with the Hakomi community in Sheffield for many years, from about 2006 to 2011, I would go into the beautiful botanical gardens, and I would create a nature table. I would bring things back for a nature table, and I would collect conkers and crimson and orange berries and leaves of every shape, seeds and oddly shaped twigs, and then other people on the course would add to it. So by the end of the 5 days, we had this very abundant nature table. Do you remember as a child doing that at school and bringing things in? Perhaps you still do. I still do that. If I remember to do it, I bring things home to put on the table. And what I notice is they change day to day. They bring them home already gently fading, like the dahlia, and you watch some fading happening. I like to do things that mark and celebrate the seasons. Ever since the late 70s, Trudy and I have played Autumn Song by Van Morrison every autumn for about 5 weeks up to Halloween. It's 10 minutes and 39 seconds of the musical essence of autumn. And sometimes when I play it, I'm making chutney at this time of year. So that becomes a kind of whole experience of music and making chutney for the winter. Last September, Trudy and Mary and I visited Virginia Woolf's childhood garden in St Ives in Cornwall. And she lived there during the summers in the late 19th century. And the house looks onto the vast St Ives Bay. And Polly Carter, who's kind of recreating the garden to be in the spirit of Virginia Woolf's time there, takes you on this beautiful tour of the garden and mentions literary references from her books. And it's a very lovely experience to have. And she quoted Virginia Woolf, who said, "All the months are crude experiments out of which the perfect September is made. Yesterday's weather felt like perfect September. All the months are crude experiments out of which the perfect September is made." And today seems like a perfect September day, the kind of September day I remember from my childhood. The light behind me from the sun reflected through the trees is just amazing. And I looked at the weather forecast for Jill in Edinburgh, and I think it's going to be a perfect September day. For everyone in Sheffield, I've had a look, and I think it's going to be lovely. For Sarah in Lewis, I think it's going to be a lovely September day. For Claudine, beside Lake Geneva, the same. And for Ben in Spain. So we're going to have this this essence of late September today to look forward to. And I was thinking as I wrote this talk about the implications of the time differences when we meet between nothing special and nothing missing. And at nothing special, we're kind of moving into a new day, into the light with all its possibilities. And at nothing missing, we're moving from day into the darkness with all its possibilities. And our body rhythms are different from morning to evening. And I wonder whether this makes a difference to the kind of talk I would give at nothing missing and nothing special. I wonder if there's a kind of resonance which happens because we're meeting at different times of day. During the late summer, when I was recovering from being in hospital in Devon, I would walk slowly up to the Storey Garden, just a short distance from here, an exquisite small garden in the centre of Lancaster, and you will know it if you have been to a Justice retreat in Lancaster. And you enter the garden, and it's a kind of secret garden through a hardly noticeable passage opposite Lancaster Castle, and you leave behind the busy activity of the city centre. You're suddenly in this spacious, easy place. And I don't know why, but I was reminded of T.S. Eliot's words in The Four Quartets. He said, through the first gate into our first world, there was something very simple and easy and uncomplicated about moving from the busyness of Lancaster into this beautiful space. And I wonder, whether there's always some place really, really close to us where we can actually find spaciousness and ease and calm. It's like it's so close, and sometimes it's actually really, really hard to find it. Would that we could find the Storey Garden in our hearts, one that is always so close and yet sometimes so elusive. having visited the Story Garden a few days ago, I found this poem by Amy Lowell, the American poet, and it's called 7th of September 1918. And 127 years after it was written, it could be entitled 29th of September 2025. This afternoon was the colour of water falling through sunlight. The trees glittered with the tumbling of leaves. The sidewalks shone like alleys of dropped maple leaves, and the houses ran along them, laughing out of square, open windows. Under a tree in the park, two little boys lying flat on their faces were carefully gathering red berries to put in a pasteboard box. Someday there will be no war. Then I shall take out this afternoon and turn it in my fingers, and remark the sweet taste of it upon my palate, and note the crisp variety of its flight of leaves. Today I can only gather it and put it into my lunchbox, for I have time for nothing but the endeavour to balance myself upon a broken world. Sometimes that's how it feels, doesn't it? We can just about manage to balance ourselves, to find some poise upon a broken world. But I wonder, can we, through our practice and the sport of Sangha friends, not wait to take out this afternoon to come, this day to come, and turn it in our fingers and remark the sweet taste of it upon our palates, and note the crisp variety of its flights of leaves? One of the experiences I had of being in the Story Garden recently is an appreciation for everyone who takes care of things, whatever it is. And I thought of Nothing Special, and how much care you take to create this beautiful Sangha, how much preparation you do, how much thought you put into it, how much care, how much skill you use to actually create the beautiful talks and the program. I just felt so appreciative of coming to see you today, that you've created this beautiful place for people to come for many, many years. There's in the case 6 in the Blue Cliff record, and you've been looking at koans recently, some of them from the Blue Cliff record. Uman addressed the assembly and said, "I'm not asking you about the days before the 15th of the month, but what about after the 15th? Come, give me a word about those days." And he himself gave the answer for them. Every day is a good day. I'm not asking you about the days before the 15th of the month, but what about after the 15th? Come and give me a word about those days. And he himself gave the answer for them. Every day is a good day. This koan could be made specific for us today. I'm not asking you about the days before the 29th of the month, but about the 29th. Come, give me a word about today. And I think in stating, I'm not asking you about the days before the 15th of the month, I think Uman is saying, I don't want to hear about your conceptions of the past. I think he's being quite direct and provocative with his students. Nyogen Roshi of the Hazy Moon Zen Center shares, at some point we have to grant that it is a waste of time to dwell in the imagination or discriminating consciousness, pulling things along behind us. Pulling things along behind us. It's up to you. Are you going to live in the shadow of the world of the preceding 15 days? But what about the 15 days hence? So I think Uman is really asking, what about today? And before our discriminating minds can start to anticipate and complicate what is to come, he stops us in our tracks. Every day is a good day. Nyogen Roshi goes on to say, we normally think in terms of the relative. This was a good day and that was a bad day, making the comparison. My mind is never going to allow me to totally appreciate this day because it picks and chooses. Look around you, wherever you are. This is a good day. And if I don't pick and choose, it truly is a good day, even with a flat tire on the freeway. How many times have you heard me talk about the flat tire on the freeway? It can be hell, or it can be an adventure. Wow, here I am. I'm going to miss that important business meeting. Cars are flying past, just like bullets. Cops will come to hassle me. What an amazing adventure. How can I maintain this exquisite practice? I've been thinking how I and we sometimes get caught by koans and talks. So we can have a really evaluative relationship with them. We can go, well, not every day is a good day. What about those poor people who? It's not a good day for them. And then we start to discriminate about something which can actually just be an entryway into freedom. And I think it's important to remember that koans have contexts. Flint sometimes talks about Dogen, and he says, when Dogen was asked what is the mind of enlightenment, he said, intimacy with all things. And then he contrasts it with Umon, who was asked about the same question. And he said, it's an appropriate response, an appropriate statement. So maybe when we look at these koans, maybe his students, his disciples, have been really self-concerned recently and really attached to an idea of self which he thought was actually not helpful. And so he said, I'm actually not interested about your past. I'm interested in today. So I get the feeling that he was a very strong, decisive, quite provocative teacher. So it's really important for me not to get trapped, not to get caught by a talk and think it's a standard or it's something that is going to make me a good Buddhist. Is it an entryway to something? Is it useful to hear every day is a good day? Today. So I'm going to finish with a poem by W.S. Merman to take us into our day. It's called The Light of September. He says, when you are already here, you appear to be only a name that tells of you whether you are present or not. And for now it seems as though you are still summer, still the high familiar endless summer, yet with a glint of bronze in the chill mornings and the late yellow petals of the mullein fluttering on the stalks that lean over their broken shadows across the cracked ground. But they all know that you have come, the seed heads of the sage, the whispering birds, with nowhere to hide you, to keep you for later. You who fly with them, you who are neither before nor after, you who arrive with blue plums that have fallen through the night, perfect in the dew. So, 29th of September 2025. May it be a good day for you. Thank you very much.